My bad,
You
yo. All right.
Oh, you cool, man. We start whenever the fuck we want to start. Have you been
All
out
right.
here, by the way? You've been traveling and stuff? Because you're on a run right
Yeah.
now, right?
Yeah. So I just did the first one last couple weeks ago. It felt good. Like it was the shows were good. And there were no I mean, yeah, like I felt safe. Like I didn't feel like there was anybody like violating. So like, yeah, I felt good. It felt normal. It felt normal. I can say that. Just
Oh, it
because
feels
there's less
normal to
people
you on
don't. Yeah, just because there's less people don't mean it don't feel normal.
Right. Well,
You know
so
what I'm
we
saying?
we opened in June, and it was kind of weird because it was all people were thinking about. But I think now people are ready to get out and
Right.
excited to
Exactly.
get out. We're kind of loose and like, let's bust it open and
Right.
get ready.
It's been a year, man.
It's
It's
a
been a
long ass
year. Yeah, dog. Like motherfuckers is. It's been a year, dog. Like it's some change.
man. And I almost don't even think about it as a year because the first, I'll say 3 months, it didn't feel real,
It did.
right?
It
Like,
felt like we. It felt like a joke. It felt like it was still a joke. Like we was like, ha ha, look at us, we quarantined. Like it's funny. Like, and then when they went and shut shit back down in June, July, I was like, oh nah, we gonna be inside for a while, man. Like,
well, I think now the numbers are going up, but summertime, so we can get back outside. I don't know, man.
well, I think the numbers are going up, but I think also you gotta realize, man, people are getting the vaccine. I think that it
Right.
is working. So like we be all right. I think it'll, just give it some more time or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, we're in the business of not being inside. Were you doing Zoom
That part.
shows at all?
I did like four, and I said I'm never doing it anymore.
Man, my favorite things. Alonzo Bolden told me doing a Zoom show is like really stealing and killing somebody or playing Grand Theft Auto.
It's about yeah,
He said
that's
like,
about right.
and what another comic said, it's like reading a review of fireworks. Where you're like, yeah, I guess you're doing it, but and we did a couple of them, but we didn't do any stand-up shows with Helium. We had like kind of like
Now
game.
that's what I was on more. I was doing more podcasts and stuff like that. That didn't feel like a Zoom show because like we just talking shit. But like when they asked me to do stand up, I'm like, yo, like what do you want me to say? Like what do you want me to do? Like what do you want me to do? What do you
Right.
want me to do? Like really, what do you want? Like so I stopped doing them. I didn't need the money that bad. It wasn't that serious.
Yeah, I mean, I think corporate gigs is a smart way to do Zoom shows because then you
Oh,
don't have to
absolutely.
like because corporate gigs suck anyway, so you might as well
I,
do it.
I don't yeah, I don't like doing corporate gigs either. Yeah.
I don't think
I
they.
really don't. You know, it's crazy. I don't do corporate, private. I don't do none of that. I don't know if that makes me bougie or nothing. I just, nah.
I don't think it makes you. I mean, there's some
Because
people
when
who
you,
will do them, and there's some people who do cruise ships. You know what I mean?
here's
And
the thing,
like,
when you do a not a Zoom show, but when you do a private corporate event, they kind of can tell you what to do and what to say and what to not to do and what not to say. And it's like, I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm being told what I can and can't say. Like, think about it. If you're doing a corporate show, at like for Walmart, let's just say, I'm pretty sure the corporate, if we're talking 500 motherfuckers, how many you think voted for Trump?
half at least.
Easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now there's already like, hey, Clint, when you come in here, man, we, you know, the kind of guy I am, I do it anyway.
Right, because you're like, I might as well have fun.
Yeah, I'll do it anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
We've had corporate events here, and it's always like, hey, Jerry touches women weird. Talk about that. Like it's always
that's
like
weird. Yeah,
right?
Jerry touches women weird.
Right? Or it's like,
I can believe
hey,
that.
talk about Jim. He shows up late. Like it's never good. All right, man. Shit, we do the actual introduction. So, welcome to Center Stage. We're here with my man Clint Coley. He's the host of Advice from a Fuckboy podcast, which has probably the best intro song of all time.
Hey,
he'll be recording his album. What are you calling it?
I'm calling it Tuesday morning, man.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. So here's how it came about, real quick. So I was supposed to do this album last year.
Right.
And I was supposed to do it last year in St. Louis. I think Jerry had scheduled me to do St. Louis in like May. Like Sunday was a Sunday. We was going to do two shows. It was going to be dope. And clearly it was nothing happening, right? So, and I wasn't in the space to really record no album or nothing like that last year because like my dad had just passed away. So like I really Yeah, so I had nothing to say to nobody. So actually, my dad and my grandma passed in the same month. So yeah, that was last April was tough, man. So then, so around October, my mental health got really bad, and I just stopped doing everything. So I stopped taking meetings about the World Series of Spades. I stopped doing podcasts. I did no work for about 3 months, and every day I literally sat on the couch and I played Marvel's The Avengers on PlayStation. That's what I sat Me and my boy, sat on the couch and played The Avengers every fucking day, right? And then I think January, like I woke up, I realized, oh shit, it's January. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta go back to work. And so I was like, oh shit, I gotta release an album this year. And my homegirl was like, yeah, you do. I was like, yeah, man. She was like, she's like, yo, man, like, what you gonna call it? And I was like, well, I don't know. Like I'm, we overthinking it, right? So she was like, man, you a comedian. You can name it whatever the fuck you want. And I was like, can I? She was like, yeah. She was like, you can name that shit Tuesday morning or some shit like that. I was like, well, that's the name, Tuesday morning. And then, but ironically speaking, so the day I'm recording the album is April 28th in St. Louis. That is the day my dad died, and and my dad died on a Tuesday morning. So, but that part I ain't think about that when we thought of the name. She was just like, yo, just name it Tuesday morning. So that's what we call it. It's called Tuesday morning.
Well, that almost seems how good things happen, where you just come up with an idea and then you're like, oh, it's touching all. It
connects they really do connect the dots. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's called Tuesday morning.
So yeah, if you're in St. Louis, April 28th, go support this man. Be on his album.
Yeah, the first show already, the 8 o'clock show already sold out. So all we got is the 10 o'clock John. So we had to add a 10 o'clock John.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you advice. No shade to the people going to the 8 o'clock, but the 10 o'clock is gonna be more fun because the 8 o'clock will be wrapped up. You got the album in the bag, and then you're like, let's just fuck around and pick. Let's just
fuck around. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the 10 o'clock John gonna be crazy, for sure.
So I met you, about 2 years ago. We were opening up for DL. For me, my first weekend being the GM, and I was overwhelmed. And
that was your first weekend?
Dog, ever. Like,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. You knew what you was doing. I'll tell you that. You wasn't fucking around. I'll give you that.
I could fake it. But you came through, and you were probably one of my favorite people that I ever met off like one interaction. Hey, how you doing?
Thank you, man.
Oh yeah, thank you. But for you going to clubs and opening up for DL, how has that experience been for you? You know what I mean? Like, dude's a legend, and you get to open up for his crowd and crush, and you're cool and you're humble. Like, how has that been for you as an experience?
So the experience of opening up for DL was great because it accelerated my comedy career a lot faster than other comedians. You know what I'm saying? So like Jerry will tell you, before I was doing that, I was hosting shows at Helium, like every month. Like that was my thing. Like I think it was like every third or fourth Wednesday in a month. I got a one night, you know what I'm saying? And I took pride in that. I started doing it in LA, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is your set does not progress with those kind of shows. You know what I mean? Your set is only going to progress when you're in front of real audiences every weekend, working out, doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the opportunity for me was, I was able, so here's the thing. As a comedian, you can look at that opportunity one or two ways. You can look at that opportunity as, oh, I'm on tour with the king of comedy or one of the kings of comedy. This is a great gig. Let me not fuck it up, right? Which is fair. Everybody wants a consistent job as a comedian, or that's most comedians, live long dream. All I want to do is just work every week. I don't care if I'm a host, I'm a feature. I just want to make enough money. Cool. Or you could look at it as, I took that opportunity as DL's giving me an opportunity to be seen by about 2,500 people every weekend. You figure, let's take a club like Helium in Portland, where you figure we hold 275 on
275. Yeah.
Hold 275. So you figure 275. What we did 6 shows. You know what I'm saying?
7, yeah, that early one.
We did 7. Yeah, we did 7 shows. You know what I'm saying? So you figured, I don't know the math off the top of my head, but I would just round up to 300. But you figured, 300 times 7, that's 2,100 people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 2,100 people get ready to see me. If I can make 1,900 of them laugh. All right. Now, how many of them are going to follow me? If I could just get 200 of them to follow me. Usually in the weekend, I walk away with like 300-400 followers. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm building my own situation in within DL. You know what I'm saying? That's what I used me opening him for. I always wanted to be more. I never wanted to be DL's opener at the end of the day, like, or finish that. Like, I didn't get in this game to make it to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have aspirations on being nobody's number two. I enjoyed it because it was time for me to learn. And he gave me the experience that I need. He taught me how to be a professional. You know what I mean? He taught me how to carry myself on and off stage. Like hands-on training that 99% of these comedians did not get. You know what I'm saying? So like it was really like taking a serious internship. Like I got the best internship ever. Like, and because I wasn't getting paid for a long time either. Like, right. You know, not that it wasn't that he didn't want to pay me. It was just like I don't really, I already got to open the neck. I don't need you.
Right. It's like let me just get fair. Well, and you were the first person, I've seen it done a couple times after you, but I think you were the first person who was like, yo, pull your phones out and follow me. Like, I've seen people do that later, but you were the first person like, no. I know they're not going to kick you out. Pull your phone out.
Just do it right now.
Yeah.
Because they're going to forget at the end of the show. Like, listen, you can sit there and say, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to really remember that. No. They're going to remember the fact you said, take your phone out, and I spelled my name 3 times purposely. That is going to sit in your mind. Like it's like, so whether you do it then or whether you do it later, somebody's like, yo, what was bull name? CLINT, but COL, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a big thing. I think a lot of comics don't understand. The game of the game is putting asses in seats.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like that's the name of the game, putting asses in seats. Like you know what I mean? Like you're not useful in this business as a comedian, regardless of who you are, if you can't put asses in the seats. Bottom line, no ifs, no ands, no buts. A lot of comedians, like, I had a guy hit me up like, yo, Clint, I really want to get in with this feature and blah, 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 blah. Can you talk to such and such? And it's like, look, these comedy clubs don't need features. There's thousands of them. And why would we fly you out? Or why would we could just use somebody that's here? Right. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to sell tickets. I learned that a long time ago.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't know, too, is clubs have pride in who they rep and like who comes out of it, right? So
right.
A feature out of town opportunity, or I can give someone in town an opportunity.
Right.
In town because I want them to
as you should always.
Right. So yeah, I think you're right that it's like a mentality people have, like, oh, I just got a feature, and like work on yourself, like
right. Work.
It's gonna happen.
Then work on yourself.
For you though, man, like what makes a comedy club good? So like you're walking in on a Thursday. What is it that you're seeing that you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be able to rock with this place? I like
a couple things, man. I want to see the staff. The staff is very important. The staff is really what gives a comedy club to me. You know what I mean? Aesthetics and staff. How does it feel when you walk in? How does it feel when they're talking to you? Nobody likes rude people. So like one thing I will say is that I don't think that I've ever seen a staff member at Helium get smart with me. Or I've never felt and I'm talking about at any Helium. I'm not talking about just at Portland. I'm talking about at any Helium. I can honestly say that the staff is always pleasant. That's at all of them. Like that's the infrastructure that I know comes from either Brad or Mark. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no, like I've never walked in the comedy club as a comedian and felt like I was like, they didn't want me there.
Yeah.
I've never felt not wanted. You know what I'm saying? Hey, is there anything I could get you and blah, blah, blah. Now, as comedians, of course, you should return the favor and tip them. You know what I'm saying? Please tip your wait staff that's in the green room, because don't forget, you and your friends are eating and drinking for free. Not just you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like think about a green room with DL. Bro, I know the tab be like, that show be like.
It ain't low.
Yeah, so my thing is, like, if you got the waiter and the waitress bringing you drinks and blah, blah, blah. Now, mind you, it's nothing because DL is selling out each, at $50 a ticket. So at this point, we'll give you, you know what I mean? But it's like, guys like myself, or guys, we should be tipping the waitresses $10, $15. There's no way that whoever's serving the green room shouldn't be walking away without $100 that night. If you're bringing in a whole bunch of drinks and shit like that.
Right. Well, I mean, even I was talking to someone about this, I think like one of the first episodes I did, and they're like, how many people tip? And I go, it's not that many. I mean, honestly,
really.
all you got to do is if you kick $5, look them in the eye, hey, thank you. You are going beyond what most people do, and people remember that as like kind.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. So I always want to be that guy. So that's what one thing DL taught me. Like he always be tipping, like, like he'll give the waiter like $20 twice. For, you know what I mean? Like, now I ain't giving you $20 twice, but he like
take it back, give it back to you.
Yeah, I ain't giving you $20 twice. I'll give you what I'll do is like I'll night was good, cool. Like here's $30, whatever. I don't. Yeah, I think that that's the number one thing. Staff and aesthetic. So I want to know, is it clean in there? Like I'm very particular about clean. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the one thing I like about Helium clubs is, and I know this is not like a Helium club ode or anything like that, but like, let's be honest, the clubs are not run down. The clubs aren't pieces of shit. Like, and granted, part of that is, the first one started in 07 or 05? 05.
Yeah, I think about,
Philly, Philly started in 05. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's when I graduated. Yeah, Philly started, I started comedy in 07. So yeah, Philly started in 05. And it's like, that's still relatively new. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's relatively new. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, when I walk in these clubs, I look for, is it ran down? Does it smell bad? Does it, you know what I'm saying? There are certain clubs that I don't like going to. I won't say who they are, but yeah.
Well, I think there's like, I will say first off on the staff thing, I think we've gotten lucky that you come on good weekends, because we have had staff members who are like,
there's always assholes. Yeah.
But the nice thing is that, we are like, go. At least here in Portland. I can't speak for everywhere, but I've had people talk to like headliners like, yo, for like a lady, you're pretty funny. Or like, yo, man, I usually, I don't fuck with black comics, but like and you're like, all right, we're done. Right. So you don't have them perpetrating over and over again. And I think you're right that we're lucky that we're newer clubs, but there's also a sense of pride where if I came in and it smelled weird, I got to figure this out.
We got to figure it out. Right. And my thing is, that's another thing too, like when it comes to issues too, like that's another thing, like how fast do you handle it? You know what I'm saying? How like, because like, here's the thing, like we got to look at, comedians have to understand the comedy club is from more than just your perspective. Yes, you are the attraction. You are the reason for the most part that they're here. You know what I mean? But also, they have other things that they got to maintain. You know what I'm saying? And like, you're not the end all, but like, I think comedians, a lot of times we take comedy clubs personal. Right. Like we get mad at the general manager about stupid shit. Like, it's like, yo, but you got to realize, like, this club ain't about you, my man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about you. It is, but it's not. They got, after we leave. So after I'll be there next Wednesday. Yeah. After I leave Wednesday, you ain't gonna see me again for another year. But guess what? You still got to see them same patrons over and over again.
Right. But for me, it goes comic, staff, customer, right? So if you,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Like, yo, I like this place, it's cool. The staff is like, well, I like this place, it's cool. If the customer doesn't, fuck you. Like, it's on you at that point. You know what I mean? Like, if you go into a nice hotel and you're like, this place sucks. You're like, all right, well, everyone else likes it. I think, you got to realize.
Right, exactly. Sometimes it's you. Absolutely.
Right.
As a matter of fact, most of the time it's you.
I mean,
most of the time it's you.
We've had to kick people out. I mean, not as many since quarantine, but
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
And they're like, "Oh, fuck him, he wasn't funny." And you go, "Okay, well, 98 people were laughing. So what? Cool. Just leave."
I had to kick somebody out of my so I remember I had got a weekend in Raleigh, right? But I was doing the upstairs room, and my opening joke was about Trump. This had to be about this was 2018. This was July 2018. Because I remember at the time I was living in Atlanta because we were shooting a film that I wrote. So I'm in Raleigh, and my first joke was about Trump, 2018, and the entire time, so these people got up, and I was like, "Yo, if you voted for Trump, you get the fuck out." These two white people got up and left or walked out, and they was like, We don't think you're funny. Like they did the same thing. Like I was like, all right, like ask for their money back. They was like, no, you're not. It said all sales is final.
But I'll say I would shake their hands as they left, because usually like we had, like in 2017, who the fuck was here? My man who wrote for The Simpsons. I can't even think of his name right now. It's gonna bother me.
I don't know.
But he was telling these jokes about Trump, and this guy was sitting there and he's like, and then he threw a glass at the stage.
Nice.
So yeah, like in 2018, thank you, Dana Gould. So someone threw a glass at Dana Gould, missed him, thank God. But I remember that 2017, 2018 was just hot. You know what I mean?
It was hot. Yeah, it was definitely hot.
It's like, yeah.
It was definitely hot. Like, yeah, it's calmed down, but yeah, it was definitely hot for a little bit.
So if someone gets up and leaves the show, I am so proud of them, because usually they don't. They sit there, get upset, and then the end of the show, like you fucking funny, or they heckle, or like they don't know.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
It was so fucking crazy.
That's true. I believe that. Yeah.
So for you in comedy clubs, have you noticed the difference from going in being the headliner to going in being the feature? Like, does that
big difference
change the weekend for you?
Big difference. Big
How
difference.
does it change?
They treat you different. Like that's number one. Like, you're Clint. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they treat you different. But no, the biggest difference is now like I'm obsessed with ticket sales.
Right.
Like I'm almost, because I'm about to say this on this podcast, and I'm about to say something very, very, very industry, like not friendly, but I don't care. And I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. There's comedians on the same level as me who gets weekends and can't sell 40 tickets. That's a fact. So now it is like I bother Jerry like week in and week out. Yo, how many? Where we at? It is now my personal mission to sell out every single show on this run, and tell any agent that's listening, what the fuck are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Right.
Because here's what some of these motherfuckers don't if I'm selling out on Wednesday, and we're not talking about markets like Philly is different. I'll sell out on a it don't matter.
That's hometown.
But I'm not from St. Louis. I don't have friends in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not from Raleigh. I'm not from Portland. I'm not from Indianapolis. And I take it very very personal, and I want to sell out. So that's what the difference between being there, because now it's about numbers. When you're a feature and you're an MC, it ain't about that. It's just about being funny. You know what I'm saying? But when you're a headliner, you take a whole different situation, because now it's about you.
Right.
And I don't understand why a lot of these comedians don't take pride in selling tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter to them. They don't promote the show. They don't care. It don't bother. I literally just paid for a $200 ad on Facebook for Portland. I take it very personal, because like I said, there's other comedians who are on the same level as me, who get weekends, who get the preferential treatment, whereas guys like me who do the work, they don't fuck with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is weird, because I always learned that there's 3 things to do to be a member of a club. Like, to come in and come in next week or whatever. It's be funny, be cool to the staff, and sell tickets. If you're only doing 2, maybe we can get you. If you're only doing 1, fuck out of here. It doesn't matter. Right. So people who can hit all 3 are in a lane where you're like, why aren't they being booked all the time?
I think I don't know. So like at first it was the TV credits, but now I had the number 1 show on Amazon Prime. So now what is it? Like, what can you, like, everything you want me to do, I'm doing it.
Right.
Everything you want me to do, I'm doing. I'm selling out doing podcasts. What else do you want me to do? Why else? Like, you know what I'm saying? So now, and this thing, and then so then you get into a situation where, and I don't want to sound like I'm angry or nothing, because I'm not, because I understand, like, it takes time. You know what I mean? But let's stop acting like, comedy clubs aren't built on the backs of guys who are selling tickets, and the guys who don't get to reap the benefits. Like a weekend like DL Hughley allows for y'all to have a weekend. I mean, I don't want to throw nobody's name out there, but like, yeah, a weekend like DL Hughley allows you to have a weekend where somebody else who could come in, y'all doing CAA a favor. I know how it works.
Right. Hey, you can have this person, but that person got to come through. Yeah.
I've heard it on the phone. Like, I literally heard it on the phone. They was like, yo, we'll give you DL, man, but like, yo, you got to give us. And my thing is, it's like, we'll give you DL, but you got to give us Clint. Clint sell tickets too. Like that's the part that fucks me up. Clint sell, like you're not losing. Like,
well, what drives me nuts about it is that, so of course you're gonna have these huge weekends or the blowouts, right? And that lets you run with people who maybe don't sell tickets. What drives me crazy is we're not getting people who, hey, let's give this person a chance. It'll be like the same old, this person was in a sitcom in 1980, so bring it. Like,
who cares, man? Don't nobody care about what you did on Seinfeld in 1980, dog. We were 80 or 91. It's over. It's like, so here's the thing. There's either going two ways this is about to happen. Either I got to tell you or I got to show you. You know what I'm saying? And now what's going to happen is, this is what's going to happen. I'm a forewarn everybody. There's going to come a point where the guys who are in my same class, 10 years from now, we're not gonna forget how some of these motherfuckers treated us. And then we're gonna treat you like you, and we're gonna treat these motherfuckers the way they treated us. People don't forget, man. Now, I will say this, Helium's always been like they've always had my back. So that's why, like, anytime like a favor needs to be done or blah 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 blah, or like if they call, I'll do it. I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? They've always treated me fair. They've always been fair to me. There's never been, you know what I'm saying? But like, right. I'm trying to figure out where the disconnect is. If you're giving somebody a weekend and he can't sell 40 tickets in a weekend, like literally, like most of it is padded the room. But somebody who sells tickets on a Wednesday and you got to add a show on a Thursday, he can't get a weekend. That don't make sense to me. And you got the guy like, and then the guy who you are giving a weekend to, he's not doing anything to show that he's happy to be there. He don't promote the show. He don't tell people you're going to be there. He comes, he collects, and he leaves. Right. He don't care that there was 40 people there. You just paid him $2,500 for the weekend. That's what he sees. I don't see $2,500. I see the bonus. That's what I want.
Well, I think, and it's going to get to a point too where it becomes undeniable. So that person who's selling 40 tickets a weekend, that's very easy to be like,
yeah, right.
I came and I sold tickets last year. Like, I seen this guy, Dan Cummins.
Yeah, I like Dan.
Like, barely selling tickets, and he was like kind of ski, and then he started doing his podcast, and people started coming. And so now he's like, I'll do a weekend when I want to do a fucking weekend.
I'll be honest, the podcast changed me selling tickets. I didn't think it did, but I realized it's a way for fans to hear me every day, or hear me hear me more, you know what I'm saying, hear me be funny without being on stage and using material that, you know what I'm saying? So now you're getting to know my personality. And when you learn my personality, and we've built such a big following on, like, our podcast, this podcast gets like 70, 80,000 listeners a week. Huge. You know what I'm saying? That's free advertising. That's how we selling out. That's really, Jerry, if you listening, like, he like, how the fuck you, that's how. I got, that's it. Every day, every week on my podcast, hey, I do an ad of, bro, I have my ad is of myself. Like, my ad is myself. Like, nigga, yeah. This show is brought to you by my shows, motherfucker. Yes. Because I be promoting everybody else. They know I'm very, like, into black-owned businesses, blah, 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 blah. So, like, people are like, you know what, we'll support that.
Well, I think the road is becoming the new thing. So you have to almost do a podcast or something so people know you personally and like
that's
you
it.
Personally, and then come and see you when you're in town.
We're in the new age of celebrity. We don't want the celebrity who's a mystery. Like, remember back in the day, you didn't know your celebrities. You didn't know your celebrities was crazy. Right. Now you do know. You know I'm crazy. Some people come for either to see the meltdown or really to just shake your hand.
Well, it's almost like people become friends of yours. So we had Taylor Thomas.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and people were like, "Why'd you break up with Sam?" And you're like, how do you know about this person's personal life? Oh, because you listen to every single thing they do, and you got to come when they do.
People know what I drink. People know that I play. Like literally, I guarantee you, like people be like, "Yo, man, like I know he like this," or I know like it's always that.
Yeah,
and that's a great feeling. I like that feeling. Like, you know what I mean? Like that feels better than, you go into a show and nobody know who the fuck you are. Like, I don't understand why motherfuckers don't want. Like, I don't understand that.
I think that's so that mentality. I think it's still that mystery thing where you're like, I don't know nothing about me. Like, all right, then
yeah, nobody cares about you then.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go through all the Heliums. So we're gonna rank them. You give it an 8 if it's nothing can change. It's unbelievable. We'll give it a 1 if you like, fuck everything about that place. I hope it burns to the ground.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna start with Raleigh.
Okay.
Give it an 8 if it's perfect. 1 if it's yeesh.
Raleigh's about a 6.
6 is pretty solid.
So Raleigh's a 6. So Raleigh probably has the best crowd out of all of them.
Oh,
in my opinion, has the best crowd, right? And when I say crowd, I mean like even people coming, buying tickets, laughter, like people, ha ha, like, you know what I mean? The only thing is, it needs a makeover.
It's what, a 120-year-old building or some shit like
that?
It
needs a makeover. Yeah, it needs a makeover. That's the only thing. But like, other than that, like, like the background and the aesthetics on the back, like on stage and stuff. But other than that, I like Raleigh. So 6. Good Nights. I'll give Good Nights a 6.
Perfect. We'll go with Buffalo.
Buffalo's a 6 too. And the reason why Buffalo's a 6 is just because it's just cold. Like we went up when we performed up there, it has nothing to do with the club. Like the club is great. It's the weather. Yeah, it's not the club. We were there during a fucking snowstorm. Like I'm pretty sure Brad was like, you know what, man, let's give DL January. It's just a little slow in January. But motherfuckers be coming out. We were still sold out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, clearly. Yeah. I was about to call Jay like, hey man, I don't know about this. I ain't coming, man. Like this is but Buffalo, but the actual club, I'm picturing it now when I walk in, a beautiful lounge bar area, showroom is cool, green room is cool. Yeah, that's about a 6. It's just it's really just Buffalo. The reason why it's -2 because it's Buffalo.
Sometimes that's what it is. You know what I mean? You got what
Buffalo.
You got. So we'll go Indianapolis.
Indianapolis is an 8. Yeah. Brand new, great aesthetics in a nice central location. A big area to sell merch. A beautiful upstairs secondary room. The other room where you perform at. That's a great open mic room or whatever you guys want to do with that podcast room. That's a great room. I'm trying to think. Yeah, even the main stage area. Yeah, no, and the green room is big enough.
God, I wish I had a bigger green room. Speaking of having a bigger green room, Portland.
Portland's. Here's the thing. So Portland's about a 7.
That's all right.
Portland's a 7. The only reason why I don't give Portland an 8 is I don't like. Maybe it's just me. I don't like walking up the steps to go into the comedy club. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like you should be going down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
better feel into a club.
Yeah. That's the only thing. Other than that, I like Portland. I love Portland.
I try to talk myself into it like you're walking up into heaven or some shit. I don't.
I don't know what it is about it. It don't sit right with me, man.
Then we got Bananas.
So I can't give Bananas a fair assessment. And here's why. I haven't been there since Brad and them took over. All right. But when I was there before, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's a 2. But that's because the crowd was lit.
Right.
The crowd was lit.
Like gone.
Everything else was everything I said, they was cracking the fuck up.
But everything, well, it's still in the like hotel shit.
Yeah, I was featuring for, I forget who I was. Somebody was doing magic on stage though. Like,
Wait, was it if it's Willman? Because this dude Justin Willman does some ill shit.
No, it might have been Alonzo Bolden, to be honest with you.
He was doing magic?
No, it wasn't him then. It wasn't him then.
I'd have been booing my ass off. Tell the joke.
There was another. No, it wasn't Alonzo. It was a black guy. He was doing magic tricks up on stage. Like he was doing magic. He was doing comedy and magic. Like he was. It was weird. So I'm gonna give it a 2, but I'm also say like I wasn't there since. I mean, if it's still in the hotel, was it in the Holiday Inn or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, Holiday Inn, right?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, right off in Jersey, and it's like it's not even an easy place to find either.
I just found out through this podcast it used to move, so it'd be like in a different.
See, I didn't know that part either.
So now it's like it's in the right place. It ain't moving, but it used to like go around to different places and shit.
Yeah, I've like what is like I mean, and I hate to say this, but Jerry, is that where you send JV to see if they can headline? Like, is that the is that?
No, man, they got real headliners now. They got
it's like, yo, man, we gonna headline you, but look, we're gonna try you out at the Holiday Inn. All right, let us see what you can do with that,
and then move up.
And then we'll talk. Like, seriously, that's a great fucking space to be like the what do you call it? That's the farm system.
The farm, yeah. Like
that's a good farm system. Yeah.
All right, then we'll go Philly 1 to 8.
8. I mean, that's my club, bro. That's me. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, speaking of Philly, you know what? I am going to give it a 7. You know what? Here's why.
Whoa.
There's no reason why if y'all like y'all need to start putting some pictures on the wall in Philly. My picture need to be on the wall. No ifs, no ands, my pictures goes on the wall. I go right, yeah, I'm in there. So so start putting pictures up. Me, Shane Gillis, Chris, figured it out. I want to be on the wall. Or in that little glass case. I don't think there's nothing that belongs to me in that glass case. I should be immortalized in Philadelphia, Jerry. Make it happen.
You don't have nothing in that whole glass case that goes down the whole fucking walkway?
Nothing.
I mean, I don't want to talk bad about Philly, but if you're from Portland, you'd have something. That's all I'm saying.
No, so I'm probably dead ass no. When we record this album, I'm going because we're gonna print them on vinyl.
Right.
So, and oddly enough, Philly's right next to a vinyl store.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, right next to a vinyl store. As a matter of fact, I might do a signing. Yeah. Why
wouldn't you?
Yeah, let me do a signing at the vinyl
store.
Do an
album release something.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, no, I'm gonna give them the vinyl of the Tuesday morning.
Last one we got, since you're doing your album there, St. Louis.
St. Louis is an 8 also. Yeah, St. Louis is an 8. And I'm talking like green room. It's small, but it's chic. You know what I'm saying? Small, but it's chic. Very good management. All right, very good management. Every time I've been there, never, you know what I'm saying? Very good bartenders while you're waiting. That's important because so a lot of times I've seen like it get really crowded in that area because DL takes too long, and between there and in the garage area, like, and that's also a great secondary room. Portland, I mean not Portland. St. Louis to me is the best club. Like, if we're talking top to bottom, like if they check all the boxes, like they're definitely the quarterback you want.
Right, where you're like they have
no faults. They're like St. Louis is Trevor Lawrence right now in the draft. Absolutely, no ifs. Yeah, and I mean, mind you, I love Philly. I'm from Philly. I love that club. That club does, Here's the thing, what people don't even realize too. Because when I first started, I was going back and forth. I would do shows at Helium. I'll do shows at the Laff House. Mm-hmm. Problem with the Laff House was they didn't have good infrastructure, and they were betting on the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I wish comedy clubs would get right. Know, like, who you're investing in, right? Like, there's guys who are funny. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of funny guys everywhere in this city or in every city. But how many guys are really willing to do the work? If you put them in positions to win, You know what I'm saying? And they just squander it or just do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or don't take it serious. Why are we continuing to invest in these motherfuckers? You know what I'm saying? And I think that the Laff House was doing that at a time where, you know, I had just started and Helium was still new. And at the time, too, they were only 2 years old. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go over there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think comedy is or should be more of a meritocracy, right? Where it's like, hey, I have 30 people who want this shot. If you get it and you fuck it up, or if you get it and you don't work as hard, I'm gonna get the next man in here. Or I'm gonna let this lady come in and take your spot. Like it's a very, very simple thing, and it still shocks me that people don't treat it as such.
Right.
All right, we're gonna add a new thing to the podcast for you specifically.
I like this.
You are recording your album, so I want to know what are things that for you make the perfect album recording, or what are situations going into it where you're like, all right, we're hitting it and everything's working great.
So it's so crazy, right? Like the way I'm going into this album this is another thing where I got a chip on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Like this album's going to be the #1 comedy album in the country. I promise you that. Like no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. I got the following to do it. Comedy albums is not that hard to be the #1 comedy album, to be honest with you. So
not for a week.
Not for a week. So we're gonna do it. And the way that I'm going into it more so is I want to make the perfect album. I want to make an album that has no skips. And the way you do that is literally like stick to what you know you want to talk about, and make the album personal. And then all the other stuff comes later. Like we know we're going to record 2 shows. I know how I want it to sound in the microphone. I know how I want the audience to sound. I know I want the audience mic'd up. I know we're going to record. I got 3 Sony A7 cameras. I'm bringing all 3 of them. We're filming this. You know what I'm saying? I'm filming in Portland. You know what I'm saying? Content. You know what I mean? Content. That's the name of the game. Why don't we release albums the way music people release albums? I'm going to release 2 singles with this album. The first single is it's going to be visually so you can see it. Yeah. More coming with, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to release this, like I'm literally taking the you know what I mean? Like we have to, you have to, if you want to make noise, you got to have a plan to make noise. Nobody likes people who makes noise, who just walks in somewhere, it starts yelling. What's the plan? Why are you making noise? Right. So my thing is, I'm trying to go in there. I'm trying to make an album that has no skips. I want the promo to be just as good. I want the promo to be just as good, if not just as good as the album. I want the album to be just as good as the promo, if not better. Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know how I want it to sound. I know how I know the order. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm still working the stuff out. Like I was working it out in Philly. I think I really like it a lot. I was working it out in Raleigh. It's I'm coming to Portland. I'm doing, like you have to, yeah. And then you also, here's the thing about comedy too. We can rehearse the same thing over and over again, and then we get to St. Louis and it just be a whole different, you know what I'm saying? But also, as a veteran, you take what's given to you. Take what's given to you.
Right.
So.
All right, then, so the last segment we have is notes from a producer. So we're going to get these questions sent to us from the producer. We'll answer them, and then we'll get you up out of here, man. You can go ahead and take some naps and stuff like that.
No, I'm actually wide awake now, man, so I ain't going to sleep no time soon.
All right, man. Yeah, I didn't know you was partying last night.
Well, I was watching. I was at a cookout at my man's crib. We was watching the Earth, Wind, and Fire Isley Brothers versus. You can't watch that without drinking and playing spades. So I was drinking and eating edibles and playing spades, and here I am now suffering. Like,
yeah, you got to pay the debt.
Yeah, you know what I mean, it was worth it though.
Yeah, I mean, Reverend, you got any questions? What's happening? What is the worst fan experience you've had? So not necessarily like a heckler yelling out, but afterwards walking around in the club. What are things? Yes. What's something you had that you're like, what the fuck was that?
I had a guy like really like be pressed about like taking me out. Like he was really like he's like, how you know what you don't like if you never had it? And I'm just like, I don't need to try dick. I'm good. I'm
Right.
good. I don't need to try it.
Yeah. I've never been to Mars. I don't need to be there.
I know that I'm going to die when I take off a spacesuit. So
I do love that. That's my favorite thing though about a crowd getting out of a show. They're a little tipped. They're like having fun. They've been laughing all the time. They have this euphoria where they can pull whatever they want. And I've heard the funniest, craziest shit coming from fans when they walk out.
No, they have like. Here's the thing: fans sometimes feel entitled to you. So like they feel like because they paid to see you, like you have to do this, you have to do that. Like, you know, I'm like, yo, I don't have to do a goddamn thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I already did what I had to do. You saw me,
right.
You laughed.
I don't have to do a goddamn thing. So.
All right, man. Well, if you're listening to this, I think we'll release it before the 28th. So if you're in St. Louis, go fuck with my man Clint. There's
got to.
Already, it's gonna sell out. So get tickets.
Yeah, the second show is definitely gonna sell out, man, for sure. You know.
And other than that, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, man. We're gonna have a good time.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it, man. I'll be there. I get in on Tuesday evening. Tuesday morning.
You get in on Tuesday?
I get in. Hold on, I'll show you. My flight is at where is? I'm over here acting like this about to be a long ass flight. I forgot I'm only going to Portland, and I live in LA.
2.5 hours.
I'll get in at 11:30.
Oh shit! If you want, come do the mic Tuesday night.
I'll come.
We got the open mic. I mean,
all right, say less.
It'll be something, but come through Tuesday night.
I'm doing it. Say less.
All right. Word. All right, man. Well, Center Stage. Thanks for listening.